Welcome back to our series on the beta version of Need for Speed Most Wanted. In our last episode, we explored cop chases, beta races, missing blacklist, and the interesting quirks and features of the game. In this episode, we'll take our exploration to the next level as we dive deep into the car manager, customize our cars, and conduct some fascinating myth tests. Join us as we uncover the hidden secrets and mysteries of this legendary game. In the mid-2000s, the gaming industry had seen its fair share of racing games, but none has truly captured the attention of the racing community. That all changed when Blackbox decided to take a step, abandon the safe route, and let you be the fucking worst. Thus, Need for Speed Most Wanted was born, a game that has since been a classic and is still considered by many to be the best racing game ever made. Welcome to today's episode, where we'll be taking a closer look at the car manager feature of the game. In case you're not familiar with it, the car manager allows you to customize cars from the game. Let's start it off with the M3 GTR. Heading into the body section, we see an option for body kits. That was entirely cut off from the main game. Although there are some available kits for this car, only the first one works. Next, moving on to the spoilers, we find that every single spoiler here has placeholder text, even though they don't really change anything on the car. When it comes to rims, there's an unusual effect that seems to fix itself. Although every rim from the beta made into the main game except for Racing Hard. It's strange, as if they were following Toyota's footsteps of not having their rims in an illegal street racing game. In this beta, there are no rims available for Racing Hard, only a weird star rating and a heat level bar that we all know of. The star rating might be a missing feature that we all hated from Underground, which got deleted. Moving on to the hoods and roof scoofs, they don't work on the M3 GTR either. Custom gauges used to be on the body section, but in the main game they were moved into the visual section. In the beta there are a total of 11 gauges, but many got deleted and the others got refined in the main game. Now let's move into the performance section, where the star rating logo got changed into a performance logo. Maybe there was another mechanic or car level that got removed, but besides Nitro, there are no available upgrades that we can do on the M3 GTR. The upgrades were also named differently: Street, Super Street, and Race. Next up is the visual customization, starting with paint. Here we have gloss, pearl, and metallic. Gloss is the basic bitch color, while metallic is almost the same as everything we have on the release version. Pearl, on the other hand, is the custom option that we have in-game, but with a lot of custom colors that got deleted, and honestly the colors stand out. Moving on to the vinyls, there are a lot of beta logos and almost every logo got redesigned. Also, the preset colors were very funky, and that's why it looks odd. But the vinyls stay pretty much similar to the release. There's also a Debug livery, probably for designing more livery? Surprisingly, the contest winner has the M3 GTR livery. That wasn't in the main game, so that's what we went with, but paired it with a different pearl color. Rim paints don't work, which isn't surprising since it's not a custom rim. However, I wasn't expecting any changes in the window tints, but I was pleasantly surprised to see so many shades of tints. They were not just amazing, but for some reason they were cut from the main game, and I wonder why. Finally, decals work the same way, and of course we have a lot of placeholder logos, nothing new here. And that's about it for the M3 GTR in this beta version of the game. Continuing on with the car manager, we can now turn our attention to customizing the RX8. The vehicle comes with a total of 8 body kits, all of which we have seen except for the last one. The interior of the car is also visible, which is weird too, but taking a look at the main game reveals that what it became. This is precisely why I enjoy tinkering around with beta versions of the game. We get to see how things evolve over time. Moving on to the spoilers, I specifically was looking for Edge, the endgame spoiler, and to my surprise, it was there and I had to go with it. For the rims, we still encountered the same old glitch, but we eventually settled with the BBS case. We also opted for a carbon hood and added a dual wind tunnel. Next up, we customized the gauge with the Pro Street looking one and added it to the shopping cart. When it comes to performance, everything is already unlocked in this beta version. So we went with the Pro engine, Pro transmission, race suspension, race nitrous, race tires, Pro brakes, and race turbo. But for some reason, while checking out, the shopping cart says it's the ultimate version. Thought this was something quirky and something you should know about. Moving on to the paint job, we went with a custom purple color. The rim paints were also quite diverse, so we opted for a darker shade of purple. For the window tint, we also found a blue and a purple one, but for some reason the window tint section displayed Feng default string instead of the actual name of the tint. After that, we tried entering the numbers, which didn't work. But we went with 69 as a nod to the culture. This time we are not doing the entire demo races because that is exactly what we did on our last episode, but this time we'll be doing something different, and that is myth testing. So we'll be taking a test drive and mess around with the beta version of the game and figuring out all the quirks and features. For our first myth test, we attempted driving backwards during the race, and it worked surprisingly well, allowing us to travel quite far. The time's up animation was also present in the beta version, and this is what it looked like. During the test drive, we noticed a significant increase to the nitrous because of the apparent race nitrous. For our second myth test, we drove the M3 GTR with the invisible body kit, and it worked flawlessly. As for our third myth test, we tried free roaming, but it failed to work as it put us in an unlimited speed gaining state. I couldn't do anything in this state, so we had to back out of this. Lastly, I wanted to see if the totaled animation was different in the beta version. It was slightly different, with 2 instances of the car crashing out and a blown engine. That's all it for today's episode on the beta version of Need for Speed Most Wanted. I hope you all enjoyed our deep dive into the car manager, customization options, and myth tests. From the unfinished body kits to the quirky paint jobs, we have seen some fascinating details that didn't make into the final game. It's amazing to see how much the beta version can reveal about the game's development process. I hope you learned something new and interesting, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of our series. If that ever happens. Maybe we can do a beta version of Need for Speed Carbon. We also did the Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2 on stream. So hey, that's something we can do in the future. Or maybe we can get that free roam working, because I might have a way. But that's all it for this video. Until then, take care and do subscribe.